The track presentation, we're sticking with the sport of kings here on the SportsMax Zone. Patrons at Caymanas Park were treated to a thrilling end to Jamaica's Jockey's Championship on Saturday as Radish Roman, they call him the Sneaky Fox, edged Tevin Foster by a single win to claim the 2024 title. Roman, who entered the day 3 wins ahead, watched his lead disappear as Foster rode Honor Prince, Supremacy and Shelley the Rocket to consecutive victories in the second, third and fourth races on the card to move level with Roman with 132 wins. Sneaky Fox, however, responded swiftly here, guiding Oil Machine to victory in the day's 5th race to earn win number 133 of the season and reclaim the lead in the race to the championship. Foster remained within touching distance throughout the day, boarding 3 more second-place finishes, which only served to add to the tension as he was left stranded on 132 wins, unable to disturb Roman's winning tally. Joining us on set to give us some insight into that intense final day and an incredible season, the champion jockey, Radish Sneaky Fox Roman, as well as his agent, Lerone Lee. Let me start here by congratulating you, Roman, on your first title success, which was pretty riveting for the fans, and it generated a lot of excitement. At the post-race interview, you did say you couldn't explain your feelings at the time because it was so much to digest. Days on now, are you better able to put into words how you feel about your championship win?
Yes, most definitely.
Well, tell me about it then.
Well, it was a joyful moment at that stage. I lost a word to explain myself, but it was really a joyful, and that's one of my dreams that came true.
Yeah, talk to us about how the season progressed for you, because you were brilliant during January. You had a 6-timer on the 28th of January, closing that one off with Wow How in, I think, the last race, Wow Wow's younger brother. So January started off well for you, and you ended January as the leading rider. But Foster had surpassed you during the year, and it took you till November to reclaim the lead and make a serious bid for the title. But from the middle of the year, I would say July, August, people were touting this rivalry between you and Foster. How confident were you during the early part of the season that this would be the year?
Well, it was a pretty good season because I failed off in February, lost out a month of riding, and I get a couple suspension, which takes me back in the riding, but it happened that I came out victorious in the championship, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah. Lerone, I remember watching or seeing, there's your 6-timer there on the 28th of January. Very rare that jockeys win 6 races in one day. And as a 26-year-old, well, you were 25 at the time because you were an April man, so you weren't quite 26 yet. Very outstanding that you were achieving that. I was mentioning an Observer story back in November, Lerone, where you were quoted as saying that Radish is going for the championship in 2025, and this was in 2024, and this was November 2023. Prophetic words, weren't they?
Yeah, and I was pretty confident when I said it because I saw the improvement in Radish riding, and I figured that once I put my mind to it, it will happen. So I was very confident coming into the season that he would contend for the championship.
Yeah, you're known as a very aggressive agent. You were Dane Nelson's agent as well. Nelson, of course, a 4-time champion rider. So you're a successful agent. How pleasurable has it been for you to be Radish Roman's agent?
I think it's a joy. That would be the word I should use. He's young, he's full of talent, and it's like nurturing a child. So, on the contrary, with Dane Nelson, he was more older, more mature, and Dane had showed that he's a very good rider at the time. For Roman, it's a surprise because he improved rapidly. 50 wins, 2023, and now he has 132.
33.
Yeah, 33. Yes. So it's a rapid improvement. But I saw it in him, so I just came out and put in the work, and we delivered.
Yeah. The rivalry between Radish and Tevin for the entire season was a main attraction for the season. You just mentioned Dane Nelson a short while ago, and we know that you had been his agent for years. The year when he ended up in a tie with Anthony Thomas for the Jockeys Championship, the battle was just as riveting statistically. But it was 2020 when COVID had broken racing for a while and so on. What was so different about this year that made fans really tune into this Jockeys Championship battle? Because we had seen tight battles before, but this one seemed to be far, far more, vibrant and, generated more interest from the fans. Why was that?
I think one of the main components to this rivalry would be the fact that Gregory Park has never produced a champion jockey. I think this is the closest they have gotten.
And Gregory Park is next door to the track.
Gregory Park is right next to the track. So I think the patrons and the fans, they wanted to see it happen. And I made speeches that it would never happen. So the rivalry became like a roller coaster. It was up and down, and then it became tense. And I think that's what made it fun for me, the challenge.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
I just dig in deep because I didn't want them to win because I made a speech about Gregory Park jockeys not winning. So that put out the best in me. But it was fun, all in the name of fun.
Yeah. Let me ask you quickly though, because there was a point at which the fans became a little bit overly enthusiastic about the battle, and I heard a few people suggest that it was similar to the Gaza gully battle between Movado and Vibes Cartel. I'm not sure, if it had reached those levels, but there was an unpleasant side to it where people started to get a little bit aggressive with the rivalry. We'll get Radish's comment on that in a short while. But how did you digest all of that? Because I thought you were a little provocative in some of the things you were saying that probably played a role in vibesing up the people.
I think I was one of the main contributors. I tried to initiate it, but not violence.
Yes, I understand. Yes.
I just tried to keep the rivalry fun, but then it got carried away. So I was the one that asked Paul Roman to call the relevant person at SportsMax to do the initiative with both jockeys shaking hands and stuff like that, because I saw where it was getting out of hand. Yeah. So we tried to squash it, and then we just tried to act professionally afterwards. But I enjoyed every moment of it. It was so intense, and I relished the challenge anytime.
Yeah. Radish, what does this championship success now do to your career? Because I remember back in 2022, you were a double classic winner. You won with Blue Vinyl in the 2000 Guineas and the St. Leger, your first classic successes. But becoming a champion jockey puts like an exclamation mark on your career as a rider. So how important has this championship title been for you as a top rider?
Well, it's very important because when I won the championship, I get a lot of calls, and I also get calls from overseas and a lot more. So it's very important to me.
How good is Tevin Foster a rider, and how much of a challenge he posed to you?
Well, he's a very good rider. Just as me, it could went anyway, but I came out on top, and I'm thankful for that. But he's a very good rider, and he put up a very good fight.
Yeah, I can
he lost nothing in defeat.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Lerone, you were mentioning to me earlier that you wouldn't have been shattered if Tevin had won the last race and the championship ended in a tie?
I think it would be a very good ending for racing. I mean, there wouldn't be any form of bragging rights on both sides to see the jockey. I was involved in a tie before.
Yes, I remember.
There weren't any. People were like satisfied with the outcome. So I don't think Tevin Foster failed in any sense. I mean, when you ride like that, there shouldn't be an L beside your name, So he's not a loser to me. I wanted to see the tie. Mr. Roman wanted to see the tie. He has a lot of respect for Mr. Foster. So we wanted the tie to happen. It didn't happen, so we are the winners. But I don't think Mr. Foster lost any marks in the field.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Can I ask you, Radish, about your lifestyle as a rider? You're 5 feet 7 inches tall, which means that you're taller than the average rider. You're pretty slim and you take care of yourself, it's obvious, so you don't appear to have a weight issue. But for the benefit of some of our viewers who are not horse racing people, can you talk to us about how difficult it is to keep your weight, to eat properly, and to remain fit to ride horses, and your diet?
Well, it's not that difficult when you come on to weight for me, because I just hold a good diet, and my weight never a problem from day one. All I try to do is just keep my body fit, go to the gym, train in the evening time, and keep my body up to date. That's any task I can take on to it.
What kind of work do you do at the gym?
We do like upper body and
legs
and lower body
and legs. And you do
mostly
gym how often?
Squats. And the bicycle.
Yes.
Dumbbell.
And how often do you go to the gym?
I go like 2 to 3 times for the week.
For the week. And what's your diet like? Because people seem to think that jockeys only eat crackers and drink water.
Well, not necessarily. I eat, but not a portion. I eat like less. So anything I eat, I don't eat in portion. If I eat rice, I eat less rice, less meat.
Do you have 3 meals per day?
Yes, but not in portion.
Okay.
Not to full up my belly just to eat, so my stomach have been something.
Yeah, that's great. And Lerone, as we've said, you've had success before as an agent for riders. We know how important the job of an agent is. I should say at this point, too, congratulations to Leroy Trotman, the Barbadian agent working at Woodbine. He is agent for the current Woodbine champion rider, Sahin Sivachi. He is also agent for Patrick Husbands, a 7-time champion jockey in Canada, well, 8-time champion at Woodbine. And I heard Sivachi, the new Woodbine champion, saying in an interview a couple of weeks ago that he could not have won the championship without Leroy Trotman and the work that he did as an agent. Can you briefly describe for us, Lerone, the work that you do as an agent? Because obviously you have to know a lot about horse racing to get Radish the rides that he needs.
Right. It's just like, so when you hear a song and it sounds good, people normally credit the singer, but they don't credit the producer. So for me, I have to make sure that the jockey is up, make sure that he's doing what he's supposed to do. And then the solicitation of rides now becomes easy for me because I understand the categories of horses that are available. So I have to be aggressive to secure the good rides because without the horses, you can't have a good jockey. And when I secure the good rider, then I'm confident in Mr. Roman. You have to trust the rider. When you solicit a ride, you envision the jockey on the horse. So I think I have a knack of it now. I think I've mastered it. So once I see talent, I recognize talent, and he has a lot of talent.
Yeah. Can I ask you a difficult question?
Go ahead.
Are you a better agent than Tevin Foster's agent?
I don't want to sound too cocky, but if you reverse the riders, it would be a mere formality.
If you were Tevin Foster's agent, he would have won the championship.
Most definitely.
Why do you say that?
And I'm not saying that to put the agent down because people might misconstrue what I'm saying.
Yes.
You know, once you don't believe in yourself, you're twice defeated. I'm very confident. And if I had Tevin Foster, it would be a mere formality.
Yeah.
And I repeat that.
I asked you that because I kind of knew that would have been your answer,
right.
But I also wanted to emphasize the point I had made earlier on that you're an aggressive agent,
right.
And you don't take no for an answer, and you don't embrace failure.
No.
Winning is very important to you.
And it's very contagious. I'm a winning agent, so Mr. Roman enjoys winning. And people have to remember, you know, they have to embrace this moment for Mr. Roman. Mr. Roman is not riding for the 2 top trainers, and he's the champion jockey. He has 54 less rides than Mr. Foster.
Yeah, for the year.
He had a terrible spill where he had a spinal cord injury. He got suspended. And he's the winner.
During 2024.
Right, and he's the winner of the 2024 Jockey Championship. So this moment is not something that you should take for granted. It's a very historical moment.
Yeah. The points that you made, very, very strong. Radish, on the 28th of January, when you won a 6-timer, I've already said it's a very rare feat. Not often that riders are able to do that. But you won 6 races on that late January card. 2 of those wins for Baba Nunes and 1 for Gary Sabrati. At that point in the year, and they, of course, are top trainers, you didn't ride for them for the entire season. I think Tevin probably got more rides from those trainers than you did. But at that time in the year, especially with a 6-timer, how did that make you feel? And the fact that you were riding a couple of horses for Nunes and Sabrati, and that was a Nunes horse you won on there, Wow How, owned by Micros, and that was closing a 6-timer for you. You must have felt on this afternoon that the world was at your feet and that 2024 for you would have been a big year?
Well, the feelings was like a tears of joy. I was like crying inside when I never dreamed to win 6 races. And
even on that day, even though you knew you had good rides?
Yeah, and when the day turned out I win 6, the feelings was just amazing.
Talk to me about riders that would have inspired you, because you started back in 2018 when, you know, Dane Nelson and riders like that would have, you know, Shane Ellis and so on were prominent jocks on the scene. Who were the riders that inspired you when you were growing up and started to get interested in racing?
Well, a lot of them, but I would say Omar Walker mostly, because we are family and around him more than every rider, so I would say Omar Walker mostly, and Wesley Henry.
And Wesley Callaloo Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Omar Walker, a 6-time champion. Ryan Lewis is his cousin I think.
Too, yeah.
And you say you're related to Omar Walker, a cousin as well.
Yeah.
All right. How do you look ahead to 2025 now? Because you're on the crest of a wave and, you know, embracing all of the adulation from your fans and so on. Do you feel challenged by 2025 that, you know, fans are expecting you to deliver again and you have to deliver for them?
Well, I know if I get the good rides, I will deliver for them again. So I'm just continuing to put in the hard work and hoping for the good rides so I can deliver for them again and make everybody happy again.
Yeah. Lerone, I know that you have aspirations to become a racehorse trainer. In fact, I'd seen something on a post from you maybe last week or so that suggested that your job as an agent was done, now that you had so many champion riders, and this title success for Radish Roman was like a feather in your cap. And I know that you have aspirations to become a racehorse trainer, but you were telling me off here that that's now on hold. What's happening?
Well, I was talked out of it.
By?
By people that love Radish Roman. They said, no, you can't just ride off into the sunset like that. So what I would do, I would probably like multitask while putting Mr. Radish Roman first. I'll be at the stable trying to learn more about the horses. But my passion is to become a trainer. I think it's a stepping stone for me. I think I have arrived as an agent. I mean, I want to repeat. I want Mr. Roman to win as many championships. So as the years goes by, because we're coming for it again this year, and I'm going to be very aggressive from the early start so that I can be in front instead of being at the back.
Yeah. Finally, you're a St. George's College Pass student, aren't you?
Yeah, man.
Were you interested in racing from your school days?
Yeah, man. I grew up in Waterford, so the track is right there. So I had no choice. As you get up, you see the horses. So
yeah.
I loved it. I saw jockeys like Carl Brown, Percy Johnson, Richard Johnson, Ian Spence,
yes,
Daniel Gazzada, Steve Cross, those type of riders. So yes. I used to stand up and hear them talk. So I was just loving the sport from a tender age.
Lerone, congratulations on the fabulous work that you've done as an agent, not just with Radish, but from before that, Dane Nelson and his championship title as well. Radish, great to have you live on the SportsMax Zone. Congratulations on a fabulous season. It wasn't easy defeating Tevin Foster this year, and we wish you all the best for 2025 and beyond.
Thank you very much.
So that's Radish Roman, new champion jockey in Jamaica, with his agent, Lerone Lee. And we'll be back with more on the SportsMax Zone after this.